Welcome to the Blender Goon. In this video, we're going to go over some terminology and some concepts. That way you guys are a little more familiar with what's going on when I'm talking about it. So most of this stuff is going to be in edit mode, so go ahead and hit your tab key, and that'll put you in edit mode as long as you have the object selected. And the first thing I want to show is Vertex. Vertex select mode is this little button up here, and you can also hit 1 to choose it. Then we have edge select mode, which allows you to select the edges, and that is 2 on the keyboard. So 1 will take you in Vertex, which are these little dots. 2 will put you in edge, and you can select edges. And then 3 is face select, and you can select faces. We have different kind of faces. So the main face we try to work with is quads. So this is a quad, and it has 4 vertex on each side. That makes it a quad. And we also have tris or triangles, which is this guy, and it's just a cut in half quad diagonally. Then we have n-gons. So this guy is an n-gon because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make a face. And this one is also an n-gon. And they're typically bad to work with, but if you need one, you need one. We also have what you call a pole, and that's when more than 4 edges meet. So if 4 edges meet, it's just a regular old, intersection. But if you have more than 4 edges, we call it a pole. When you're modeling, you want to try to put poles and n-gons in inconspicuous places. Like if you're making clothing, you want to put it like under the armpit or something. The next thing we're going to look at is all these little lines I got on my object. These are the normal directions of your faces. Faces only have one side, so that's why it's red inside. And if you look up here at the top, you can go to your overlays drop down and you can turn face orientation on and off. If you've been following my videos, then this should already be on and red. If you see red and you put this in Second Life, whenever you look at it, you're going to look right through it. It'll be invisible. So you want to make sure your normals are pointing out, and that's something you should check before you bake and before you export, because if you bake it, it'll also bake black. The normals also show you what direction the light is going to bounce off of your object. So that's why some of these are aimed this way. And that will affect stuff like over here. If we go ahead and shade smooth this, you get this dark looking edge at the bottom, and that's because of what the normals are doing. To fix this stuff, you can go into edit mode, do a control R and make an edge loop and slide it down. And if you watch, you'll see my normals are moving down and that darkness is getting taken care of. And that'll just give you a better overall look. You can also just right click on it in object mode and do an auto shade smooth, and that'll clean up pretty much everything usually. So I wanted to give a little troubleshooting stuff. So if you select a vertex like this one, you can see that this line's orange, and this line's orange. But if I select this vertex, this line's orange and this line's orange, but these ones are black. And the reason it's like that is because I separated this thing and it's duplicated. So if I hit G and move it, you see it opens up. And you can also see that in object mode if you're in X-ray mode. X-ray mode is Alt-Z. And you see the weird line? There shouldn't be a line there. Why is there a line there? So to fix that, you can go here, and there's 2 on top of each other. So if you aim your camera a certain way and hit Alt-Z to go in X-ray mode, you can box select that. And then you will see down at the bottom here, it says verts 2 and 30. And if you don't see this line, you need to right click over here and turn on scene statistics. But if I have 1 selected, it just says 1. So over here it says 1. And if you do this, now it'll say 2. Instead of have it down here, you can also have it on the screen up here. And to do that, you just go up to your overlays panel, hit your drop down, and hit your drop down, and just turn on statistics, and it'll put that stuff over here. It tells you, put it so you guys can see it here. It will give you how many objects you have selected, which we have 1 of 2. We have 2 objects in the scene, and only 1 of them selected. We select both now, it says 2. If you're in edit mode, it tells you how many vertex you have selected. So right now I have 2. If I select a whole bunch of them, I've got 12 out of 30. It also tells you the maximum. Same with the edges and faces and triangles. So you can keep track of that stuff down here or over here, but I don't like it over here. So let's turn that back off. It's in the overlays drop down and statistics. Okay, so back to our issue. We have two vertex here on top of each other. So I've got this one and we'll move it and you can see it's selected. And if you click a certain way, oh, I can't get the other one. It's hard to get both of them. So what I do is I aim some way that won't be in the way, maybe like this, because I know this face up here is kind of clean. So I'll go this way and do an Alt Z. Then I can box select. And then again, you'll see it says two vertex down here. Then I can hit M and that'll bring up this menu. And I can do by distance or at center. At center is probably fine here because they're both right on top of each other. So at center. And it just merges them and now it's just one vertex. And you can see all your lines are lit up orange now. So you know there's no problem there. But if you want to check your model real fast and see if there's a problem, just go in object mode, Alt Z, and if everything looks right, then you're good. If you got some weird little line somewhere, then you know you got a problem. So just to say a little more on that, I'm going to copy this face here and drop it right back where it's at. So there is a face there now. So if we deselect it, you can't tell. If we go into object mode, you can't tell. But if we go into X-ray mode while in object mode, you can definitely tell there's a problem. So be aware of that stuff. And we will just delete that face now. And now our problem's gone. So next on the list is the 3D cursor. The 3D cursor is this round little circle here, and you can move that guy around in a few different ways. One way to move it is maybe go into front view and hold shift and right click, and you can put it where you want to put it. And that'll move it around. And what it does is wherever the 3D cursor is where objects come in the world. So if we make a sphere, that's where it comes in at. And if we move it over here and make another one, make something. So this stuff comes in where the 3D cursor is. If you want to put it back, you can hit Shift C, and that will put it back. You can also move this thing with Shift S. So right now I can click this and it has a point of origin, which we're going to do next. But if I hit Shift S, I can do cursor to selected and it will pop it over there. If I'm in edit mode, I can select a vertex or a face. Let's select a face. I can select this face and do a Shift S and then cursor to selected. And you can bring objects in the world. Maybe you want an object right in the center of that, so you do that and put it there. Or you can put objects on it. So we can select this one, and the point of origin is right there. So we can hit Shift S and do selected cursor, and that'll move that cube to their point of origin straight in the middle. And like I said, we'll get to point of origin in a minute. We can also use the 3D cursor to do things like animations and things. So up here is our pivot point. And if you click it down, it has one for 3D cursor. So if I click that and then I rotate it, it will rotate around the 3D cursor. Or if I scale, it'll scale away from the 3D cursor. We also have one more way to move it. If you hit T, there is a 3D cursor button, and then you can just kind of put it where you want to put it. If you're using this tool, you can just click and it will go to where you clicked on the object. So if I want here, I can just click there if I want down here. So you don't have to be using Shift S just to be precise to get it on a face or a vertex or an edge. You can just click where you want. And if it's close enough, then you want to use it that way, you can. Okay, let's hit Shift C to put our object or our 3D cursor back. And then we'll select Shift C to put it back and then get off of this because that'll mess with you. W is the hotkey to change this, by the way. You can go through the different modes if you just hit W, and I'm using box select right now, which is good. To put the cube back where it belongs, there's a couple ways to do it. We can do Shift S since we're using that and jump it to the cursor, or we can just hit Alt G, but we'll do the 3D cursor. The next thing we're going to show is point of origin, and the point of origin is a little orange dot in the middle. So the point of origin is this little orange dot. This little orange dot is not a vertex. It is a point of origin. Don't get them confused. but it is where the object lives. So this object lives at that point. So, like I said, if I move it and I hit Alt G, sorry, that was Control G, Alt G, it'll jump back to the 3D cursor world origin with its point. I have an add-on which is Quick Origin. So if I select this here and right-click and do Quick Origin, it'll put the origin there. Now if I hit Alt G, it moves to there because the object lives at that orange dot. You can also change the point of origin with the options up here and click origins, and then you can hit G and move the origin wherever you want. The origin controls modifiers and, like I said, where it lives, but it really affects the modifiers, and it also affects where it's rotating and things. So if I rotate this now, whoop, 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 like I said, don't forget to turn it off. If I rotate this, I'm going 3D cursor. We'll go back to medium point, which is the default. If I rotate now, it rotates from the point of origin. And if I move the point of origin again, this, and put it like here, and turn it back off. And now if I rotate it, it rotates from there. And as I said, it controls modifiers. So I'm going to move it again one more time just to show you the modifier thing over to here. And now if I turn this back off and go to our modifiers and add modifier mirror, it will mirror exactly center. This is the center of your object, so it mirrors it to there. And if I take this point of origin now and move it, that will slide around and do things. And the last thing about point of origins is in Second Life doesn't care where the point of origin is. It is going to put it at the center of your object's mass, no matter where you have it in Blender. Other programs like Unreal Engine, it actually wants the point of origin to be in certain spaces, certain places for certain things. So keep that in mind if you're uploading to different games other than Second Life. This point of origin might matter, it might not. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this modifier over here by hitting this X. And our axes are still on, so I will go up here and turn off our option. And now I know that's turned off. And to get this back, you can simply right-click while you're in object mode. Right-click, go to Set Origin, and do Center of Mass Volume. And that'll put the point of origin back where it belongs. And before we end the video, we're going to put it back where it belongs. Alt-G will put it back where it goes. And before I do that, though, I'm going to hit N on the N panel and show you that there's a location here. And I can scale it, and that will add a scale. And I can also rotate it. So there's no rotation. We'll rotate it. So if you hit Alt-R, it'll clear the rotations. If you hit Alt-G, it will clear the location. And if you hit Alt-S, it will clear the scale. If you apply your transforms, you cannot Alt-G because they're already at 0. So this resets any transforms that you've made that you haven't applied already. So keep that in mind when you're applying transforms later. If you need to move something back to its original spot, you might not want to apply your transforms. So that is it for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you haven't yet, join the Patreon and the Discord server. And I will see you guys in the next one.